Okay, it's late, so I'm going to end by starting something new. So I signed up for Gen Con recently, and I remember after the last Gen Con, we discovered Slay the Spire, the board game, and that was a lot of fun. I did a quick, just a quick review of it, I guess you'd call it. I don't know, it really wasn't too well thought out, but people seem to enjoy it. And I've always been wondering how to bring more tabletop games into this. Well, Arctic Panthers showing off in the background. Anyway, and then I recently discovered something. I'm an old Magic the Gathering player. Used to enjoy it back in the day, but it's been a long time and I've been kind of out of touch and tried it online for a while, but just kind of migrated to some other stuff. To be honest, the land situation is not great in Magic. I'd say like you play 3 games of Magic and you probably get mana screwed once each, and so you have one good game. Anyway, having said that, they've got something kind of cool. I always used to like the pre-constructed decks. Those were like the kitty tail. Those were sort of low-powered decks that they would introduce a new set with, and they'd kind of focus on some of the themes of the deck, you know, like enchantments that could come to life or something like that. But they were fun. They weren't super powerful. You could take them and start to build a deck off of that, but that's not usually what the real talented people did, who had lots of money. But what's cool about them is that I collected a bunch of them, and you could play them against each other, and they were just kind of these mid to low powered decks that allowed you to play cards that you might not normally play with. For example, Crawworm was perfectly viable in a big green stompy deck, which was fun. Who doesn't want to play a Crawworm, right? Anyway, something that has happened, I think it started in 2020, so long after I stopped playing Magic regularly, and it doesn't help that I live an hour away from like a Magic shop, yeah, or a hobby shop, or whatever you want to call them. Game shop probably is the best phrase. Anyway, I have discovered that they now have a thing that is called Jumpstart boosters, and apparently it's 220 cards. You get 2 boosters, 20 cards in each booster, and you get a little 40 card deck, which is kind of the size of the old draft decks, if you ever did draft. And each of the boosters kind of has a theme, apparently. And this is just stuff I've read. I haven't tried this yet. That's what we're here for. But so maybe you get like a green elf one and you pair it with a blue counter and you try to make a go of it. I thought this would be fun to have a little solo 12. I say 12. There's 24 booster packs in this, 2 for each deck. So 12 decks. Let's make 12 decks and have a little tournament and see if it's fun. I think it will be. So I'm opening my first ones ever right now. I'll admit I got a little crazy and bought several of these, so we'll at some point have more than 12. But this is a good place to start. I think this is some of the most recent ones. There's one anime-inspired card in every deck. I'm not an anime guy. Nothing against it, just haven't gotten into it. Probably has something to do with my age. Anyway, so I don't know if they are like characters from anime or inspired by anime, or even about cat. What are you doing? My cat's bringing up programs here in front of the screen. Okay, super helpful kitty, aren't you? Oh yeah. So open it up here. Mix and match for creative carnage. Welcome to Jumpstart. It's got a little instruction manual which we will now read since I've never done this before. Make magic happen with amazing mashups. Grab 2 boosters, shuffle them together, and you're ready to go. Now, if you're like me, you put them in sleeves first, which we will do before we start our first match. This is the prelude video. So let's jump in. It says first grab your 4... Really, cat? This is how you're going to play it the whole time? I really wonder how this is going to work, because my cat likes to play. She hunts all the time. And if she's stuck inside, because we're under a winter storm warning, so we're kind of stuck inside. So she hunts whatever moves. All right, I think I get it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all there is to it. Okay. Well, let's see what we've got here. Oh, is there anything finer than busting open some magic packs? It's an expensive habit, but it's a fun habit. All right, so here we go. Now I don't know, like I don't know if I need to mix these up. Like if I pull two off the top, do I get a mono deck because like they're both green or something like that? I don't know. I feel like I should mix it up a little. I feel they got to be smarter than that, right? They wouldn't do that, would they? Because people can just open this up and build decks. All right. So, Team A versus Team B. I guess it's that simple. Let's see what we get. And then I'll probably shut this video down before the first match to put some sleeves on these bad boys and dream about them. Because one thing gaming does for me, it's therapy of sorts. That's not really therapy because it doesn't resolve any issues, but I use it to take my mind off of stressful things. So whether for me, a lot of times it's like something going on at work that's stressful, or you know, maybe something in the whole geopolitical climate that concerns me. All right, I've lost the art. Man, I used to be able to open magic deck. Oh, I remember now. The fun way to open them. I'm not sure how Arctic Panther, what she's gonna think about this. But this was the fun way to open them back in the day. Okay, sorry in advance, kitty. Oh, I see. I pulled back because it's not because I'm a total weakling now. I pulled back because I didn't want to scare my kitty, and she did not look like she particularly enjoyed that rather soft patch that did not get the decks open. So here we are, folks. What color is it? This is weird. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that legible. Copied? What? Is it a, is that the name of it? Huh. I've heard these aren't street legal, like you can't play in a magic tournament with them. But that's not the goal. See, I have gotten so much mileage out of those pre-constructed decks, and I'm kind of hoping to capture that magic again here. Get it? Capture the magic. Okay, well, it's definitely a red deck. Yeah, it's red. It'll be interesting to see, like, are some of these cards I'm familiar with? I mean, it's been a long time since I played Magic. Okay. Well, I'm seeing Goblin, Devil, Dragon. It's a mix. It's not like one type of creature. Human, Wizard. Okay. So I just realized how bad my eyes have gotten since I last played Magic. Looks like I've got a gold. 2 golds. Okay. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Zada, copy that spell for each other creature you control that the spell could target. Okay, so you target one thing and it affects everything. And the other gold card is at the beginning of your upkeep, return an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard to your hand. The at random is kind of a pain in the rear. It works great if you're doing computer games, but we're doing tabletop games now. Huh. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, the Charmbreaker Devil gets +4, +0. That's interesting. Well, clearly a instant-based red deck. Let's see what it gets paired with. The other half of Team 1 is also hard to open. I am slightly concerned that I've just gotten weak since I last played Magic. I wish I could pop it the old way, but I don't think the Arctic Panther would appreciate that at all. All right, what do we got? You think I'm making that sound, but it's actually what happens when you open Magic packs. Looks like white. Okay, so what I wonder, there are probably like you could probably go online and say copied, and it would tell you the cards in this. So I'm going to keep that all together for now. Stalwart looks like a red white, so hopefully Stalwart, it sounds defensive, but you kind of want it to be a white weenie, because white weenie and red are instant kind of deck. That could be something. Money's on that one for now. Let's see, how do I open this without cutting something apart that I don't want to cut apart? Yeah, and my kitty's just like, oh, So much stuff that's shiny. You're a natural magic player. All right. I haven't figured out how to open this yet. I guess if I were to accidentally scrape the stalwart thing, that wouldn't be the end of the world. But I really should look into a better way of opening cards than ginormous scissors. That will be for next time, because right now we must open cards. Now, is it white weenie? Hopefully it's not white defense. That would not pair particularly well. Oh my gosh. Well, the first gold card is a 6 mana Light of Legion. Huh. And it really wants to be, it's, whenever it dies, put a +1/+1 on each white creature. No, that could be weenie-ish, I guess. Now, here's the interesting thing. So when I played Magic, there were rare cards that were gold, there were uncommon cards that were silver, and there were black cards that were common. Now there's apparently a copper-colored card. Seems like a lot of +1 counters, and what I'm looking at right now, the cards, I mean, the creatures look expensive. This is not a weenie deck. Like it's sort of, yeah. There's nothing in the 1 mana category. There's 1 2 mana card that's a creature, so it's not a white weenie deck. Not sure how that's going to work. You know, maybe the red keeps the field clear till you can drop your bigger white creatures. Really, Elsie? That's how you're going to play it all day? Even with the red, you've got 1 2 mana card. You got nothing that's a 1 mana in either one of these. So interesting. We'll call it that. We'll call it interesting. I think that's beatable, but that's the joy of the randomness. Its opponent, red-white's opponent, will be... all right. My cat is in a threatening position right now. I don't want her to hurt the cards. I don't think she will, but I am a little more worried she'd hurt me. And she's a nice kitty. It's not that she would do it intentionally, but it's just so much stuff wiggling around and making noise. Okay, can we see it? What do we have? Vampires black. I think I know what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and open the other one before I look at... Well, no. Let's... It's so excited. Okay. Let's open the vampires real quick. Usually, yeah, I play a little guitar on the side, so usually I have like very small screwdrivers around that would probably be really good for opening this. Okay. Yeah, vampire. Well, a lot of... So, as I think about the mana curve, I'm thinking about it from a constructive perspective. So I'm like, why are there no 1 mana creatures or, 2 mana? And I would never think of like a 6 mana card as really being viable, except maybe in a combo deck or something. But, these are not super powerful decks. So having a 6 mana vampire or a 4 mana vampire may be doable. And actually, having looked at the other two, this is a fairly, well, I was going to call it a fairly aggressive deck because I quickly got to a 2 mana creature. Ooh, lifelink. Interesting. Yeah, very vampire-y. Interesting mix. Like the others were sort of sorted by mana curve. This one does not appear to be. It's got some low-cost stuff in there, though. Like even 1 mana creature. This is the first 1 mana creature I've seen. I'm going to go back and just check that red deck, make sure there wasn't something hiding in it. It's got actually, oh, that's a sorcery card. It's got 2 1 mana sorcery cards, but it is an instant sorcery kind of deck, so that's probably why. All right, yeah, I was not wrong. There's not a lot of low casting cost stuff sitting around in here. Yeah. No, not really. It's definitely not a weenie deck, the red and white one. Okay, so red and white versus black. Vampire plus... What do we see? Ooh, white again. Armed. That sounds a little more White Wing-ish. And the vampires were actually fairly... look like a pretty aggressive deck. So let's see here. Armed. Honestly, it sounds like it's going to have artifacts. Which, I mean, is not a bad thing. Maybe especially on a vampire. Alright. There's beeping in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but it means it's time to go put the bread in the oven. So, I'm going to shut this and come right back. Okay. All right. So what do we got here? Oh, well, one thing. I think these bronze, reddish bronze cards must be mythic cards. I think those are a new thing since I was playing. Yeah. And legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+3. So, yeah, it is definitely armed. Yeah. A lot of equipment. So, actually, pacifism, that's always nice. Yeah, not a lot of removal in these decks. Maybe there's more than I thought. If any deck has the removal, it should be the red. The red seems like it would be very removal-ish. It's got a lot of the cards that give its creatures buffs, like a +3 attack or something, which, I mean, kind of could be removal, but not really. Yeah, it's not really, it gives its creatures trample and that kind of thing. It's not true removal. Matter of fact, really nothing. Wow. Interesting. There's one. One 3 damage removal card, Fire Prophecy. That's it, folks. That's so. And white probably doesn't have removal. Pacifism is probably as good as it gets. So, well, actually, it's got Swift Response, destroy a tapped creature, so that would count. It's got a little bit of removal, but oh, kitty, cat's got. Good job. She got a sticky on her, and she got it off on her own, so good on her. All right, so artifacts and then creatures to put it on is basically what we're getting here, plus the pacifism, which is nice. Looks like all of the lands have one, you get your plains cards and that sort of thing, but it looks like, something like this. Let's see if I can get it in front of my face so it'll focus on that. Nope. All right. We've got a land card here that can add another color of mana. So it looks like they all have some sort of interesting land card. Yeah. Yeah, mana of another chosen color. So that probably helps you with your getting the mana for the 2-color decks. Okay. Well, it'll certainly be interesting. Black, white versus red, white. So I think I like the idea of, I wouldn't normally say artifact is the way to go and that's going to be the dominant deck, but I'm going to go with that as the favorite because there's not a lot of removal. And if you don't have a lot of removal, lets those artifacts hit the creatures. And I think something like lifelink paired with some of these artifacts could be pretty potent. Now, again, haven't gone through the decks in detail yet, so that'll be kind of fun to do. But this is our first matchup, folks. 12-team double-elimination tournament. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Especially like or comment if you like this format, like doing something like this. I know we haven't actually done the game yet, so maybe it's too early to judge, but if you find something like this interesting, it helps to know whether, do I spend time doing something like this or do I spend time doing more computer gaming videos? The channel's kind of been built on computer gaming, so I'm guessing that's where people's interests are. So if seeing something like this is interesting to you, just let me know. That'd be great. And then Subscriptions are always wonderful, but we're really on a push right now because we're trying to get a community page, which takes 500 subscribers. We're right at 400. So if we can get to 500, then I can attach a little poll onto a video like this to say, hey, do you like this or do you like computer games? Answer the poll, which would be super handy. It would be, right now, if I wanted to include that same poll, I'd have to put it down in the description, and it takes you, it's a link that takes you over to another post that I'd have. It's just kind of a pain in the rear. And the way we do things here is we like to vote on one of 4 games, and then I play that game for the week. So, okay, that's a lot of talking. Have a great day, great life, play great games. We'll see you later.